This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris. Oh, man.
Well.
And I'm Spy.
And I had everybody's channel up except SpyV's channel, so sorry about that. We are... What is today, Will?
Brad, it is Conversations with the CHRILLCAST.
No. What is it today, Will?
It's on Wild Card Wednesday, Conversations with the CHRILLCAST.
There you go. Close enough. Today our conversation is with who?
SpyV.
That was actually for her to answer, Will.
Oh, was it? Sorry.
Yeah. There was a gap.
You asked him the last question. I assumed it was still for him. Yes, hi, I'm SpyV. Either of those work. And
so that we can get everybody subscribing before they learn more about you, what's a quick synopsis of your channel?
So I primarily work in movies, but I also do other pop culture and media related things. I do reviews, video essays and analysis, character redesigns for some pop culture stuff, and I do speed paints of art related to whatever I am talking about in the background.
And I can tell you for a fact that I enjoyed both her redesign of Harley Quinn, and I enjoyed the Marvel Snowflake and Safe Space redesigns that she did.
I still can't believe that Marvel did that.
I know.
That was insane to me.
But her Joker video is also really good. So any of those videos, go check them out. And if you like what you see, go subscribe to the... Whoa. Really bad rhymes. All right. Yeah. Why don't we get started on these questions? Will, why don't you ask that first
question one. What inspired you to create your YouTube channel?
Yes, way back in the day. So I was talking to you guys about what Letterboxd is earlier, which is where people can essentially write movie reviews and then post them, and then other people can comment on them. You can make lists with movies, yada yada. I used to write like essays for movie reviews on Letterboxd because that's just what I enjoyed doing. I would just write these unnecessarily long, drawn out, thoughtful reviews for whatever movie that I saw, and I saw a lot of movies. And eventually I kind of realized that I wanted to start learning more about editing because I do want to go into the film and movie industry. So I was like, well, why don't I combine these two things that I like to do, and I can start to learn how to edit. Obviously that's not the same as like movie editing, but I can start to get myself familiar with editing software, and I can do that by starting a YouTube channel and kind of giving my thoughts about all of these things. And the very first video I actually made that is no longer on my channel because I have it privated was a video that had no speed paint. It was purely my avatar and some movie footage like cut together. But so I took a break for a while and I stepped back and thought more about what I wanted to do. And since I thought, well, hey, I could make my videos a lot more interesting and practice my art more often by combining both of these things. So I can do a speed paint related to whatever movie that I'm reviewing or talking about while I talk about it with a little avatar. And then that's sort of where I ended up.
Yeah.
Very cool. And as you can see, she does put up an actual image or clip from the video and then does a pretty good job animating most of them. I definitely can't do any of what she's doing. I'm not good at art. Definitely not digital art, that's for sure.
Yeah, noses always throw me off. I cannot do the nose. I can do most of the rest of the face. I can't do a nose.
Well, she's also making kind of an odd nose.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that. I was gonna say nose job. That's not right. But did you put tears on her face, or is that your
No, those are just me making guidelines so that I can try to measure out the face as I draw it.
Gotcha.
Since it's the sketching phase, you'll end up seeing a lot of like diagonal lines and horizontal and vertical lines as I'm measuring it out as I work.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I did really enjoy your commentary on New Mutants, and I'm probably not going to watch the movie now. Just that.
Yeah, I didn't watch your commentary on this yet. I need to go back and see this. I guess.
No, yeah, it was. I really like the X-Men movies, but they can vary in quality a lot. So I was kind of looking forward to New Mutants because the advertising it was very different than most Marvel movies. It looked like it was going to be something really fun and interesting and different at the very least, and then it didn't do any of that. So I was disappointed by what ended up happening on screen.
Yeah, like for example, their Pink Floyd cover in the trailer and all that. I was really interested after hearing that, and then I watched your review and I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, no, they did it. They made it seem like it was going to be like a horror movie, and then it wasn't really like that at all. So, kind of unfortunate, but it happens. It happens a lot, especially with the Marvel type movies.
So, given that we know what you do on here and your inspiration for your channel, how would you describe your relationship with YouTube and social media?
Oh, man. Social media as a whole, I'm much better at browsing than I am actually interacting. I don't know. I just always feel kind of weird and like almost narcissistic if I talk too much about what I do on social media, which isn't fair because a lot of people do that, and that's not how it is. But I always feel really weird talking about myself on social media and what I do. So I typically browse a little bit more, which is not good for networking or like putting yourself out there. But that's just kind of how it is. With YouTube in particular, it's kind of just, for now at least, it's something that I really do want to develop and work more with. But it's a little bit more of just like a side hobby but I'm starting to like take it a little bit more seriously and wanting to actually like put the time and effort and work into making it more of like a viable long-term thing. But that's just something that takes time to work on.
Makes sense. As far as the browsing versus like posting, how often do you think you actually post on social media?
Oh man, that can vary on the day, because sometimes like I'll tweet like 4 or 5 times a day and then I'll disappear for like 5 days and not say anything, or I'll only reply to other people because I can only be funny so often. Like I can't always come up with something funny to tweet. Reddit I pretty much exclusively browse. Same with Instagram. Instagram I'll post anytime I do like an artwork, but otherwise I'm just browsing. So definitely not posting all that much comparatively.
I'm pretty much 2 or 3 posts a day at this point. Like I always post our video,
and
then I'll respond to somebody, or I'll like tag somebody and say, "Hey, did you see this?" That kind of stuff, or like Will.
See,
I'll just retweet all this stuff.
That's what I should be doing. That's what I should be doing, and I'm trying to work on that because I don't even notice like how long I've gone without like posting anything on Twitter, and then I look and it's like last tweet 1 week ago, and I'm like, oh no, that's not good.
I do find a hard time drawing that line between too much and not enough, because I feel like if you do it too much, then people get numb to you. Yeah,
that's for sure.
All right, well, what do you got? What's that next question?
Question 3. I know you're not really a gaming content creator, but what games do you enjoy? I know there's at least one.
I definitely enjoy like a little variety of several different types of games. I've been playing Rainbow, Among Us, and on the Switch I have Animal Crossing and Breath of the Wild. I absolutely love Breath of the Wild. That's got to be my favorite game, at least right now. I have played Portal 2 and like Papers, Please, that kind of thing before. And then just some older games from when I was younger. I used to play like on the Wii, that type of deal.
I find Papers, Please is such an odd game.
I don't even know this one. Look it up.
It is, but it's really interesting. It's like what is it? It's just like a pixel game where your entire thing is you're like living in this fascist dystopian society, and you're like a checkpoint guard, and you have to decide if you like let people in or not.
And your family is dependent upon your choices.
You're given like all of their paperwork, and it tells you like, oh, yeah, you're dependent on the choices, and it tells you like at the end of every day how much money you have, how much you get paid, what your expenses are, and you basically kind of have to decide like, do you just keep your head tucked down and do what the government tells you, or do you sometimes let things slide at risk of getting caught, that type of thing.
That's really interesting, actually.
It's a really well-crafted game.
It is. It's an older game. Yeah, it's older at this point, but and I've not played it in a while. I probably want to Back. Oh, I just remembered another one that I haven't played in a little while, but I really liked was No Man's Sky.
Okay.
That's definitely one I want to revisit soon and put more hours into, because that one was like super open world. Just do whatever you want and explore and figure it out as you go.
Were you playing it before the Beyond expansion or after the Beyond expansion?
No, I got it after the Beyond expansion. I never had that. I know a lot of people weren't fans before the expansion, or they liked it at first, but then it got boring. And then after the expansion, people really liked it, but I only ever got it after.
Yeah. Actually, I was just thinking it would be really interesting to have you do artwork from like a game like this in a speed paint, and then do commentary on a game.
Oh yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna end up doing a video on Hyrule Warriors.
Cool.
Because I am interested in that, and I'm probably going to do one on the Breath of the Wild sequel when that comes out, just because I do really like those games. Yeah, this is really an older game. I'm just looking. This is 2013. I didn't even realize that it was that old.
I got it for free via PS Plus on my Vita, actually, so I'm gonna have to play through the rest of it. I'm like halfway through it. At least that's as far as I've gotten.
It's been a while since I've played this one. I think I got it for like $10 on Steam or something like that.
You had something, Will?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Other than you should possibly do it for Breath of the Wild as well, just to have like that in your backlog, so people really like the sequel content and go back and watch the original one as well.
That's a good idea.
Not a bad idea.
Even if you do it last, I would still do all three.
Just to give like a timeline of opinions, kind of. Yeah, that could work. I would only have good things to say about Breath of the Wild, pretty much.
I love that game too. I don't think Chris likes it very much, but at least as far as
like it as a game. I'm not a fan of that direction for Zelda.
See, that was my first experience with Zelda, was Breath of the Wild. So for me, it was like, oh wow, this is so cool, and I really am into like all the Zelda stuff now. That type of deal for me.
Same thing happened to me.
So when the 3D collection comes out for the Switch, you'll have to tell me if you enjoy the other Zelda games.
Yes.
So what is your favorite type of content to produce?
Definitely like my more analytical videos, the ones that are more like a video essay versus just a review or a character redesign. And I really do, the one thing I do enjoy about the character redesigns though, is that's much more like my content. Like it's something that I am creating that people are enjoying versus my commentary on something else someone made. And that's both interesting and scary, because it's like, hey, look at this thing I made. Do you like it? Please tell me you like it, because I made this one. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but I definitely enjoy that, and those seem to be the videos that end up getting the most views that I put out. So that's always fun too. But definitely the more essay, analytical-oriented scripts are the ones that I enjoy writing the most.
Yeah.
What's your favorite video you've done?
Ooh, that's another hard one, because that's going to vary depending on...
I just stole my question later. Whoops. Oh, well.
That's fine. Go.
Let's roll with
it.
Too late.
Because I'll have a different answer depending on what's my favorite drawing I did, what's my favorite script I've written, versus what's my favorite editing that I've done. Overall, my favorite script has to be the Artemis Fowl video, which is not actually much a review of the Artemis Fowl movie, and it's more of me just ripping into Hollywood for ruining franchises with the terrible first installments. But yeah, I really like how the script turned out for that one, and the editing. Oh god, I just saw the Cats movie. I forgot I used a clip from that the intro for that video. But yeah, that was definitely the favorite script I've written. Favorite editing is probably from the Half of It video. I like that was when I was first trying kind of a new editing style, and I like how that one turned out. And then favorite speed paint has got to be the Hamilton video, because that one turned out really nice and way better than I expected it to. I thought that it was going to be like okay, and then it ended up taking me a lot more hours and turned out much better than I expected it to.
Which one did you say was the... Did you say Half of It? The
Half of It. The one that's... It's called When a Romance's Biggest Problem is the Love Interest.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah. yeah, that one was probably kind of my favorite editing because that was when I was first trying something kind of new with doing like an intro that's with movie footage instead of just doing the full speed paint from the very beginning. And I liked how the timing turned out on all of it and where the cuts were. It ended up working out really nicely for my script, incidentally. So that turned out nice.
I found your commentary on this particular movie, your review here, was interesting because I've never seen a movie with this kind of a premise. And so hearing the premise described to me, like for example, another person that does a lot of movie reviews in a similar vein to you would be, I think Nerd Talk does a lot, but his are always like super long. Yours are a little more condensed, so I appreciate that.
Super long.
Have you seen some of his?
The thing is, I appreciate long reviews for stuff, but I will start to get lethargic writing after like 4 or 5 pages. So, in knowing that, I try to keep it just to where I can do like quicker, more streamlined things, and I try to make it less like stream of consciousness and more like there's like a structure to my videos, especially more recently. Because like I said, now I do more. I used to just kind of jump straight into the review, but now I do more of like a little intro, like describing the movie or talking about like a larger media thing that's at play related to the movie. So
I guess where I was going with that was when I watch your reviews, I feel like I can still watch the movie or do whatever it is without having lost the entire surprise element. When Nerd Talk does his reviews, I don't feel like there's anything left.
Sometimes his review is longer than the movie.
I can
not in a bad way.
appreciate when
Not in
there's
a bad way.
No.
Yeah, I can definitely appreciate a really long, in-depth movie review.
I don't
think
feel like I have
the
to watch the
longest one
movie
I've
anymore.
done.
When I had to watch his.
Yeah. Hey, if it's bad, then you can just get the full breakdown right there, and then you don't even have to be morbidly curious to go seek it out. Yeah, I think the longest review I've done was the Rise of Skywalker. That was I'm pretty sure that that's the longest video that I've done, because I had so many things to say about that movie.
About a half hour.
Yeah, that's definitely the longest one that I've made, and that was another. You can tell by the title, I really didn't like that movie, and I had a lot of thoughts about it.
I don't think I've watched this one actually. I'll have to check this one out later.
You can just ignore like the really crappy stills, because I changed those recently and I really dislike the old stills that I used to use, but they're in most of my old videos, so that's just kind of how it is now.
Speaking of old stills, where does your avatar come from?
Okay, so this is gonna be the story. The very first art account for anything that I used was on iFunny. And my avatar on iFunny was always it was just like a black and white portrait of a woman or a girl with like a blue V spray painted on her face or painted on her face, and I used that as my avatar like on all of my platforms for the longest time. So then when I decided that I was going to do a YouTube channel, I was like, well, I need an avatar. And when I was speculating what I wanted, my name was still SpyV at the time. So I was like, oh, what if I do like a little gag where she's like a movie detective, like a spy, like that type of deal.
Yeah.
I don't play to that gag very much, but that is visually like where the design went. And the very first version of the avatar that I drew was actually just black and white. Like it was just a grayed out avatar with a black outline. And then at some point, my friend suggested that I could add color, and that would probably help make it a little bit more visually interesting. And I agreed. So I did the suit is blue because that color blue is like my favorite color. So that was just what I went with for the suit design.
Okay.
And then the skin tone and hair color is roughly my skin tone and hair color, as well as the eye color. Even though like my avatar doesn't really look like me all that much, it's like definitely a bit of an abstraction, if you would, of what I actually look like.
Fair enough. I got like some Nancy Drew vibes. I'm not gonna lie, the detective thing.
My friends bully me and say I look like Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, fair enough. I didn't think about that one.
Carmen Sandiego, that's what I was thinking.
Just for fun, let's see if we can find Carmen Sandiego.
They call me blue. They say that I'm blue Carmen Sandiego.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, so they're like, who's this crappy Carmen Sandiego ripoff character? That's what they call me. They don't mean it like in jest, but it's just like, I don't even know what Carmen Sandiego is. I do now, but at the time I was like, what the hell is Carmen Sandiego?
For fun, you should review a Carmen Sandiego thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, just change the outfit to red, but like don't say anything.
All right, well, what's that next question?
Well, you skipped over it, so now you gotta figure out where it's at.
It's 5. Well, you're on number 5.
Yeah, okay. How do you choose the next speed paint that you're going to do? And also, do you ever like start one and delete it and do just something else?
Absolutely yes for your second question. Sometimes you start something and it's just not working out, so you just start over, you delete the footage, and you go on to the next thing. The Hamilton speed paint was like my 3rd attempt at drawing something for that video. So,
okay.
But as far as how I choose, it can depend a little bit on how much time I have before I make the video. Because some videos, like, I know I want to make them, like, way out in advance. So I have more time to do something a little bit more intricate. And another thing is I want to travel to, like, conventions and do, like, art prints and, like, artist alleys and stuff. So if there's a certain movie that I know I want to talk about on my channel and I just really like it anyways, I'm thinking of doing something that's more like a print design. But if I'm just doing a video and it's just going to be, like, a quicker video, my go-to is drawing a portrait, just like a character headshot, because I can do those pretty quickly, and it's still relevant to the video.
Very cool. Any hints as to what you're working on?
Oh, I have 2 videos that are imminently in production right now. They already have scripts written. They need some editing. The next video is going to be about the Oscars, about a recent event that happened with the Oscars. And the other one is the start of something that I'm hoping to make a series, which is more of an analytical comparison series. So those are the next 2 that I have in the lineup.
Interesting. I'm very interested in this analytical comparison since you're being very vague about it.
It's not as interesting as my vaguity makes it sound.
Clickbait. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it'll be pretty upfront what it is. Basically, the short answer is I'm going to be comparing 2 movies in a particular way. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you got the next question then. You're number 7.
Yeah, so one of your videos recently blew up. Is there anything you'd like to change about it now that it has blown up?
I really wish I had my new stills for that video, because it wasn't too long after that video that I ended up deciding that I needed to redesign them and make the newer ones which I like infinitely better than the old ones. Another thing was the actual design that you see by the end of the video. I ended up going back and changing it a little bit more, and excuse me. I linked to them in like the pinned comment at the bottom of the video, but I ended up changing up the design slightly. Yeah, you can see there. I made a version 2 and a 2.1, if you would, which was a little bit different than what you actually saw in the video. So I wish I had those to actually put in, but that's all like I ended up having those done like a week after I actually made the video, and at that point, who would have knows if there's no telling if the algorithm would have actually picked it up by then or not. So
fair enough.
Kind of thing.
I did enjoy this video quite a bit, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that one was like, that wasn't even my idea to originally do that video. My friend was like, you should do this. And I was initially kind of like, oh no, I don't think I will. And then she was like, no, it'll be fun. And then she started like brainstorming ideas with me. And at some point in the process, I was like, yeah, this actually does sound fun. I'll go ahead and do that. And now I owe her everything.
It's so funny. Your friends will suggest something and you're like, whatever, brush it off. And then you'll end up just kind of half-heartedly thinking, fine. And then you get into it. It's like, this is a lot of fun. I'm doing this. I'm taking it really seriously. And then that video blows up. It's like, wow, you wouldn't think your friends would have that good insight, right?
Yeah, this video ended up being kind of strange because it ended up going a lot farther than I thought it. I was trying to think of the specific example. Oh yeah, the one thing that people seem to really like about this design outside of like the visual aspect was the renaming. And one really weird thing that ended up happening was there was some other bigger channel. I don't know much about his content, but he was just scrolling through Twitter like about the topic when it was popular, and he ended up just coincidentally stopping on my tweet where I posted the artwork while he was scrolling. And then if you go down into his comment sections, the top comments are about my renaming and my redesign, which is like so weird because that's something that's pure luck. That's not anything that you have any control over. That was just a stroke of luck that ended up there. And then people like in the replies were like, oh yeah, she did a video on it, go like here's her video, and they were like linking it.
That's
and I was
awesome.
like,
wow.
I was like, yeah, but I was like, how do you account for this, like when you're when you're planning a video and hoping that it blows up? This is something that's just pure luck. But yeah, I appreciated it, that's for sure.
That's really cool. It's funny how the internet sleuths for things. Like you just might see a clip of something in a big YouTuber's video, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I know what that is. Here's the link, guys.
The only reason I even knew about it was because somebody found my Twitter off of seeing the handle in the background and like replied to one of my tweets like, hey, I saw you in this guy's video. Good work. And I was like,
Dang.
I'm sorry, you saw me in what video? I've not heard about this. And then I went and found it. So yes, there was definitely some internet sleuths on that one.
Oh yeah. All right, so what are your goals with YouTube going forward?
Oh man, I would really like to make this like a stable, like decent sized platform for me to continue to work and give like my thoughts on movies and stuff like that. But one thing I'm really interested in further down the line is I want to be like an independent filmmaker myself. So if I can use YouTube to help like grow a platform that I can then actually like present my work to an audience, that would be really great. It doesn't have to be like massive or anything, but just like a smaller or just a dedicated fan base that would actually want to see something that I made would be like the dream.
Like Star Wars Theory did with his Vader episode. I don't know if you watched that.
I did watch that. Yeah, I don't watch his content too much, but I did watch that video or the short movie. But yeah, people were like super into that just because they liked the personality of the character no matter what. They liked him, so they were going to want to see what he made, which is something that's really cool to me.
That's what it reminded me of when you said that. It's like having an audience that respects you for what you do, and then you do something like that. It's definitely an audience that's willing to participate and watch something that you put the work in and produce.
Yeah, that's like the dream for me. I just want to be able to have an audience so that I know that if I were to ever produce something, there would be people who wanted to watch it, like that type of deal.
Cool. Well, I'll watch it if you produce something.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm in my first animation class, and I just learned how to make a ball bounce. So I have a long way to go, but we'll get there.
There you go. Well, if you want to animate a shrimp for fun, the CHRILLCAST could use a intro logo, but I digress. Will, why don't you ask that next question?
What are some of your favorite content creators here on the YouTubus?
YouTubus?
See that? YouTubus?
Yes.
That's hard because I watch like a ton of different types of videos. And they have like nothing to do with each other. If we're talking about in terms of more like media and movie related, I really love Lindsay Ellis and Red Letter Media. Those have got to be two of my favorites. Lindsay Ellis does more like video essays type stuff, and she just published a book recently, which I bought. I haven't finished reading it yet, but it's really good so far, and I absolutely love her. She's got to be one of the most intelligent YouTubers out there. And Red Letter Media, they're just funny. Like, have you guys ever heard of Red Letter Media before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Their Star Wars review is like iconic.
Oh, I love their Nerd Crew episodes. That's the best to me. But yeah, I love Red Letter Media as well. Trying to think if there are like some like smaller than like 1 million plus people that I watch a lot that are related
Clearly
to media
Hopeless
and stuff.
Peaches.
Yeah, I do watch Hopeless Peaches a lot, that's for sure. There are definitely some art commentary that I watch, like Miss ZZ or Ponder Sprocket. Definitely, I love Peaches. I talk to her pretty often. I was trying to go down the list of like, let's see, I do movie stuff. I should probably mention like the movie channels first. And then
Is this the right person?
No, that's not it. It's like ZIZI.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Oh wait, she had a problem recently where like her channel got hacked or something. So yeah, I wasn't sure if it would still be up or not, but yeah, it looks like it is.
And what was the other one besides Miss ZZ?
Ponder Sprocket.
Ponder. There it is.
Yeah, and then I do really like just some less art commentary and just commentary has got to be like The Right Opinion. He's really good. He does really long, in-depth videos.
You and Hopeless Peaches have both plugged this guy. Might have to reach out to him.
He's really good. He's really good. He's got a beautiful, soft British voice, and he could tell me that I'm the ugliest human he's ever seen on planet Earth, and I would thank him for it because it's just so pleasant to listen to him speak. Oh, this one's a little bit more recent, but someone that I have been enjoying a lot recently is Saberspark. He does like animated movie reviews. So he's an interesting guy too. And he finally had his Veggietales video come out. That's been something his fan base has been asking for a very long time, and it finally dropped recently, and I was so excited.
I'm gonna have to watch this. I've been wondering what ruined the Veggietales. No, I am interested. I'm gonna have to watch this.
No, well, neither one of those are vegetables. That's the first problem.
That's what led to the downfall. They weren't vegetables.
They weren't actually vegetables. So is there anything else that you would like to discuss with us, or any questions you have that we haven't already covered?
I don't think so. I think we've pretty much covered most of the big things.
Ooh, I got a question. If you could pick a video to blow up that hasn't blown up yet on your channel, which one would you like to blow up?
That's currently live, or one that's like I have planned? Because the answer will change.
One of each. Let's hear it.
Okay. For current videos that aren't blown up, ooh, that's really difficult. Probably the Artemis Fowl video, honestly. I still really like that one. And people responded to that like more positively. And I don't get like a ton of likes comparatively, but people liked that more often than they did others. So I noticed that my own audience at least responded to that one a little bit more. Yeah, I'd probably want that one to blow up. But if I had to pick of the two that I'm making, I'm really hoping that my like the comparison video where I'm going to be comparing the two movies does really well. That's going to be it's going to be the longest video that's going to go on my channel. And I'm really liking the script so far, and I've been doing some cool stuff with editing, so I'm looking forward to that one and hoping that it does well.
We hope so too. Everybody, make sure you go youtube.com/SpyVStudios and hit that red subscribe button. If it's gray, hit that bell icon so you get every second of SpyV delivered to you the second it comes out. All right.
I promise I only make quality. That's a lie, but
unlike us, we just make quantity.
I just try my best.
Unlike Will and I, we just make quantity.
Hey, there's.
Just kidding. We are at 300 plus videos at this point.
Yeah.
Way
too much CHRILLCAST.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine having that many.
The good news about having a bajillion videos is when you start typing in Krill, second result, bam.
Hey,
almost
cool.
number one.
Almost.
I don't think I pop up even if you type in my full name. So, yeah, no, I'm just not there. It's
You'll get there.
I'll get there, yeah.
Anyways, guys, everybody go subscribe to SpyV. We want to thank her for doing this interview, and you'll get to see at least 2 more segments with her on Thursday and Friday. And if you missed Monday and Tuesday, we covered Hopeless Peaches and way too much news about gaming. So, as always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Spy.
And we will see you
on the next CHRILLCAST. Bye, guys.